I'm going to go over the homework due Thursday, January 28th, which was to make two shapes, to animate two shapes, one so it's moving from the top of the screen to the bottom, and the other so it's moving from the bottom of the screen to the top. To do any kind of animation, I need to make sure I'm working in active mode, so I need a setup method and I need a draw method. I like to put those first to make sure I've got the open-close brackets so I don't forget them. In setup, I'm going to include the size, and in draw, I'm going to put the background. I need to put the background in draw because if it's in setup, you'll see that all of the ellipses that are made as you iterate those variables. So instead of just having the illusion that one shape is moving, you see all the shapes that are drawn as the variable increases or decreases. I really recommend putting it first. 255 again is white. If any of those color functions, stroke, background, or fill, has just one parameter, it's a grayscale, and 255 is the max value, and that means white. The next thing I need is two integer variables, one for the shape moving up and one for the shape moving down. Because they're moving vertically along the y-axis, I want to make sure that the variable name I choose reflects that. So I could say y1 and y2, or ellipse y1, ellipse y2, y coordinate 1, y coordinate 2. I'm just to be short, oops, I put y1. That should be y2. They must be different. If you have them the same, you will get an error message. It will say duplicate field. So this is y coordinate for first ellipse, and then y coordinate for second ellipse. In the setup, I'm going to give them their initial values. This is called initializing them. So the first ellipse I'll say is the top ellipse. So if I want the ellipse to start at the top of the screen, I want it to have a low value. So I'm going to say 0. Any low value would be fine. This ellipse will start half on the screen because its y value is the center of the ellipse. So when it starts, we're just going to see that bottom of the ellipse. y2, I'll start that one at 500 at the screen's bottom. That again, the ellipse, when it starts, we're just going to see the top half of the ellipse because the y2 will be at the bottom of the screen, so the bottom half of the ellipse will be below view. So this is initialize y1 and this is initialize y2. And that again is giving them their starting values. Here, you can do any style functions you like. Oh, look, I misspelled no stroke. You can see it didn't change color. I need to go put the R in. You've got it correct when it changes color. And then maybe for now, I'm just going to do a static fill. Again, if I use 3 parameters, they're the R and G and B values. So if I say 255, 0, 0, that's the max value, and the red parameter, no green, no blue. So this is red. I know this one off the top of my head in green and blue, but I always could go to the color selector and look at the different values for different colors. Finally, I'm going to make my ellipses. I need to make sure that I use the variables that I created in the ellipse in order for them to move. If I don't, they will just have a static location. So for the first one, I'm going to say it's y1. Maybe, I don't know, I'll start it at 100. I just made a mistake again. This y value needs to go in the y coordinate. Goodness gracious. So this is 100. So it'll be 100 over y1. That's 0. So the starting location of this ellipse will be 100, 0. And then maybe I'll make it kind of big, 50 by 50. The next ellipse, maybe I'll start this one all the way over at 400 over. So on the x-axis at 400, then y2. So its starting location is 400, 500. So towards the bottom right. And then maybe I'll make this one a little smaller, 30 by 30. If I just play it now, I'm going to get just these 2 non-moving ellipses because I haven't changed the values of my variables. So back in my program, I need to say, so y1, which starts at the top, to make it go down, I need to say y1, the new value of y1 equals y1 plus 1, or plus 2, or plus any whole number. So that's moving down kind of slowly. There it goes. And for y2, I'll do the same thing, except I'm going to subtract. Y2 equals y2 minus, maybe I'll make this one move a little faster. I'll say 3. And then it'll be subtracting 3 every time draw loops through. So it'll reach the top 3 times as quickly. That's it for the basic homework requirement. I'll pick back up with another video with the color.